man. It's like picking out clothes. Hey. I got so many flows, I don't know how to be the same. So many flows, I can kill your beat any type of way. So many flows, I don't see the need to imitate. So many flows, songs in my mind. I got so many flows, I don't know how to be the same. So many flows, I can kill your.
What's good, Candy Cane gang? Gang. It's your girl. This is my story. Real ghetto story. Like the vocals, right? What's good, y'all? Y'all know the routine. You know I'm sitting in this chair. Y'all know what time it is. It's another story time. This is a part 2 about Mr. Richard. And then I have where somebody else wanted to decide to take my free will. If you are familiar with the in-laws from hell, I'm going to be doing a part series from each of these people, how they decided to go to these witches and try and stop Big Kane in her tracks and was unfucking successful. So let's start with Mr. Richard. And y'all already know it took place in Brooklyn, in Brownsville. So we're going to go ahead and hop into that, okay? But first, I have to do my disclaimer. None of the names used in this story time belong to any of these people. Their names are being changed to protect their privacy. Their names are being changed to protect the privacy of the trifling and not the innocent. That motherfucker, Richard, he ain't innocent. And this other motherfucker in this story time, they not innocent neither. So let's go ahead and hop into the backfire of Mr. Richard. So I told y'all in the last story time, part 1, I changed my phone number, okay? I changed my phone number after Sandra's house went up in flames. The whole entire month, y'all, I had been thinking about this. Like, damn, how does Sandra's house go into flames like that? Behind her being an assistance to me and helping me. Just how? How is this even possible? Then you have Richard. Richard's just the main culprit to this whole entire thing. He's going to say that he had nothing to do with it. It just blew my mind. It blew my mind. Like, this lady helps her apartment, her building, her house up in flames. Then you have Miss Lisa. She came down with some sort of illness and it was just taking her the fuck out of here. So I'm just like, this is crazy. This is really, really crazy. After changing my phone number, Richard had no way to contact me. But he started using different family members. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this in another story time, how Richard was coming to my house with every fucking family member he can think of to try to convince me to start to talk to him again. This particular day, y'all, I'm just like, I'm going to go out of town. I decided to go out of town with Tika and Tangi. They were going out of town this particular day. So I'm just like, you know what? I don't have to work over the weekend, so I think I'm gonna come with y'all. So Tangi is like,
all right, well, the more the merrier. Like, I'm going to see if I can find me a wigger. That's all I'm really concerned with. So yeah, like, you want to come so you can get away from this motherfucker and the bullshit he got going on. That's fine with me.
Tika is like,
yeah, like I'm going pretty much to have fun and be a little bit on the same type of time as Tangi, because I don't know what this wigger got going on.
Whatever dude she was dealing with at the time, y'all. So I'm just like, you know what? I think I'm gonna take this offer up. So I'm in this house. I'm doing my hair, getting prepared to get ready to leave. Okay, we decided we was just gonna go to Atlantic City. It ain't really out of town, but it's out of town. Okay, so we like, yeah, we gonna go to Atlantic City. We ain't even gonna go that far. So like I said, I'm in the house. I'm doing my hair, getting myself prepared to leave because we're gonna drive up there. My intercom rings. So I'm like, I know Tangi and Tika that's not them, because we had like a set time we was gonna leave. So I go to the intercom And I go to press the button, and then something just came over me to stop and not press the button. So I'm just standing there, and I'm like, let me see if they're ringing again. The intercom rings again. So I go to my phone, and I go into group chat. I send a message. Hey, did any one of y'all ring my intercom? Like, is any one of y'all outside of my building? Everybody responds and says no. Why? What's wrong? So I'm just like, somebody's ringing my intercom. So if it's not y'all, then I don't know who it is. Maribel writes and says, it's that mother. She like writes it in caps. So I'm like, now, mind y'all, I have not seen or heard from Richard since the day I had changed my phone number. So I'm just like, nah, I don't think it's him. Like, he might have vanished. Like, he might have disappeared. Maribel was like, can you go out into the hallway and just like peek around and see? So I'm like, yeah. Yeah, Maribel, yeah. So I'm like, hold on, y'all. Let me go see. I goes into the hallway, y'all. I goes into the lobby, and I don't see nobody in front of the building. So I'm like, all right, maybe they left. So I come back into my apartment, and I goes back to the group chat, and I'm just like, I don't see nobody. Maybe the person left. Or it could have just been a random person ringing the intercom to get in the building, because this is what people used to do back in the days. They probably still do it now. So Tangi was like, well, it's not us. Like, we said we was going to be over to your house maybe like around 8 o'clock. So it ain't me. It's not Tika. So I'm like, all right, cool. So y'all, I goes back to the bathroom doing my hair, putting my hair up in this tight bun. So my intercom rings again. So I'm just like, what's going on here? Because I literally just went outside into the lobby. I didn't see nobody. So I go to the intercom, and I'm listening. I don't hear anything. So I send my neighbor a text, okay? And I ask her, is it possible if she could go out and look, see what's going on? I just explained the whole thing to her. She's like, yeah, I'm going to send my brother. I said, all right, cool. So a couple of minutes go by. She calls my phone. So I'm like, hello? She's like, hey, girl. I'm like, hey. She's like, yeah, so I sent my brother to go look, and it's you know who, and he's with a lady. So I'm like, don't tell me this motherfucker. She's like, yeah, they standing in front of the building. So I'm like, all right, thank you. She's like, yeah, don't engage neighbor, don't let him in. So I'm like, I'm not. So I hangs up from her, and I go back to the group chat really quick. I'm like, y'all, this motherfucker is at my door, and he's got some lady with him. So Maribel was like, what lady? I'm like, I don't know. I sent my neighbor's brother to the front lobby to look and see, and this is what he said he saw. So they're just like, don't let him in. So I'm like, I'm not. I don't know, y'all. Like, this guy is just, this Richard is just Richarding. Like, what the fuck? Okay. So the intercom goes off again. So I go to the intercom, and I'm like, what? Richard says, damn, that's how you answer the intercom? And you don't even know who's there? So I'm like, I have the senses to know who's there. What do you want? So then the woman says, hi, Kane. Let's give this lady, this lady, the enabler, let's give her a name. We're gonna call her Selena. She's like, hi, Kane, it's me, Selena. I wanted to talk to you. It has nothing to do with Richard. I want to speak to you if that's possible. If you could buzz me in. So I'm like, talk to me about what? She's like, me and you, we don't have no problems. We don't have no beef. Like, I want it to be, a civilized woman to woman conversation. So I'm like, give me a second. So y'all, I put my shoes on, the Nuck If You Buck boots, okay, the beef and broccoli boots. I goes in the closet, I get my boots, puts them on, grab my keys, and I go outside. So I come walking out the building. They're standing by that little fire hydrant that I was telling you about. They're standing right there. They turn around. She's like,
"Oh, you don't want me to come inside?"
so I'm like, honestly, I don't want anybody in my house. It's a lot of series of events that took place. I don't want anybody in my house at the current moment. How are you and what can I do for you? She's like,
"Well, I understand that you and Richard are going through something, you know."
So I'm like, I thought you said on the intercom this had nothing to do with Richard. She's like,
"Yeah, it doesn't have anything to do with him. Like, I just want to talk to you woman to woman."
So I'm like, I'm listening. So she's trying to walk off with me because Richard is just like, she's
Like, "I'm sorry, like, what, are we interrupting you?"
So I'm like, yeah, I'm doing my hair because I'm getting ready to go out of town. Like I'm getting ready to leave. So Richard is like,
And go out of town where?
So I'm like, excuse me, I don't have to tell you anything. I don't have to explain anything to you. I'm getting ready to go out of town, and right now y'all are interrupting what I have going on. So she's like,
"Well, I just wanted to speak to you. Like, let's just walk over here."
So we walk off a little bit from the lobby door, and she's like,
"Well, you know, woman to woman, and being that I'm an older woman, you know, you do realize that sometimes people go through things in relationships. No relationship is perfect."
Like she's after a couple of seconds, negative 3 seconds. I'm gonna say, because my attention span was really fucked up back then. Okay, I told y'all, like I was bad cane. So I'm just like, after a while, the gibberish, it turned into gibberish. I wasn't listening. I wasn't paying it no mind. So I'm just looking at her, and this is all I'm seeing. Her lips just moving. So she's like,
Do you understand what I'm
saying? I caught the end part, and I'm like, mm-hmm. She's
like, you know, so you and Richard, you know, like y'all ending y'all relationship on bad terms. I just think that, you know, it's not fair to him. It's not fair.
I'm just like, lady, I just cut her off real quick. I'm like, listen, Selena, Miss Selena, lady, auntie, okay. You don't. It's a lot of things that you don't know about your nephew, okay? And I'm not gonna stand here and explain them to you. So she's like,
No, you know, like that's what I'm saying. Like, what goes on between y'all? Because I'm only going off of what he's telling me, and I was just trying to get the story from you.
I'm just like, you literally just said you wanted to speak to me woman to woman and had nothing to do with your nephew, but now this is all I'm hearing. Richard this and Richard that, and Richard said this and Richard. I don't give a fuck because I'm done with your nephew. Your nephew's a liar. Your nephew's a cheater. Your nephew is dangerous. He's a menace to society. Like, I don't understand what part you're not getting. So she's just like,
No, like you have to get to know him. Like, you've been with him all these years, and it's just crazy how you don't know him.
y'all. She really was an enabler. Like, this woman not once mentioned anything towards what I was saying that Richard was doing to me. So she mentions the abortion. She's like,
Then you went and you had an abortion, and you didn't even give him a chance.
I'm like, miss, this is when everything went left. Okay, this conversation took a left turn because I'm like, lady, who the fuck are you to stand in my face and tell me that I was wrong for getting an abortion when your nephew is the one that insinuated and initiated the whole entire thing? He gobbled up my sonogram pic. He threw it on the floor like he was playing basketball. That has nothing to do with you, and I feel like you are really overstepping. I feel like you're really overstepping your motherfucking boundaries by standing in my face and mentioning that, because your nephew wanted this. Okay, your nephew wanted me to terminate this pregnancy. So I don't know what he's telling you. This is what I'm saying. Like, you're standing in my face and you're defending him off lies. So she's like,
See, I don't even know what's going on.
I'm like, so if you don't know what's going on, why is it even your place to say anything? This conversation is done. I'm finished. So I walks away from her and walking towards the building. Richard is like,
What's going on?
So his aunt is like,
she's this young Richard. Like, she's young-minded. You just need to find you somebody your age.
so I turned around. I'm like, I'm just young-minded. Your nephew is fucking young-minded, and so the fuck are you. You really back off before I call my mother, have my mother come over here, and I'm gonna see if you have that same type of feeling. Okay. So she's like,
It's no need for violence
and this and that. You standing here trying to insult me. Let's see if my mother likes it. Let's see. Let's see if my mother like it. Oh, baby, I can call my aunts because I have a lot of aunts. So she's like,
Come on, Richard, let's go.
She's ready to go now because who the fuck are you, lady? You're the enabler. You enable your nephew to do this bullshit to women. So Richard is like,
this don't make no sense. Like, we all supposed to be talking, like we're supposed to be fixing this and working on this.
Fixing and working on what? What? So Richard is like,
well, why can't I call you? Like, I'm trying to call, it's talking about your phone is not in service, like the number doesn't exist.
Because I changed my number. What is it to talk to you about? Why are you here? So boom, y'all. Let's fast forward. We're 20 minutes in, okay? Let's fast forward. So later this night, Tika and Tangi, they come to the house. I get into the car. We're in Atlantic City. I get a message on Facebook. It's from a Spanish girl, and it's like a message request. So I opens up the message, and she's calling me by my first name. She just puts my first name, and she is just ... So I didn't respond to it. Okay, I just closed it out because like, who the fuck is this? I don't know. I'm thinking it's a fake page because Richard would do that too. Richard would create fake Facebook pages, and he would send friend requests or follow me on my Facebook and stalk me that way too. So I am looking at the message. I close it out. Tangi is like,
is everything all right?
I'm like, yeah. She's like,
I don't know, friend. You still seem off.
So I'm like, nah, I'm good. She's like,
well, don't let people ruin our night. Like, we're trying to vibe here. Like, we're trying to vibe.
I text Maribel and told Maribel. Maribel was just going off in a text message like, do you want me to send my brother over there? Like, because my brother come over there, my brother this, and this. Like, so I'm like, it's really worthless at this point because he's just not going to stop. And then I remember when Sandra said he's going to be a problem for a very long time. This was not a cat. So we're just here. We're at Atlantic City. They are trying to gamble, or Tangi is trying to pick up on rich men or whatever, looking for rich men at the gambling, the blackjack tables, whatever. So I don't know, y'all. Like, the whole time I'm just sitting there annoyed. Like, I can't believe this motherfucker would come here with this fucking woman, and this woman bringing up shit she don't even know nothing about. Like, it was just really, really annoying at the point. I was really, really mad. So, but I was trying not to ruin, this little girl's getaway weekend thing for them. So once we get back, okay, I was really glad to get back home, honestly. I couldn't wait to leave, but then I couldn't wait to get back home. So once I get back home, this same person, the same female, she's sending another message. Can you respond to my message? It's important. It's urgent. So I clicked accept. Y'all know how the Facebook message request is. Once I click accept, she sees that I accepted it. She starts writing. I can see the little keyboard thing going. So I'm like, what is it? I just responded first. I'm like, what is it? Who is this? She's like, this is, let's call her Layla. She's like, this is Layla. This is Richard's cousin. I'm like, oh my God, not again. Not a fucking again. This is what I'm saying to myself. So I'm like, Layla. She's like, yeah. Do you remember we met one time where we had the barbecue at my mom's house? I'm like, yeah, I remember you. So I clicks out of the message, and y'all know I'm nosy Kane. I goes to the profile. I'm just trying to look around. So the profile kind of looks like a fake page. It doesn't look real, okay? It's got like 10 friends. It's no posts, nothing. So it's like a fake page to me. So the message thing pops up on the screen. So I go back to the message. She's like, did anybody call you regarding Richard? And I'm like, no. Why? So she's like, well, something really bad happened to Richard. Richard was in a bad car accident. So I'm like, a bad car accident? When? When was this? She's like, this was yesterday, like 5, 6 o'clock in the evening. I'm like, I didn't know about that. I had no idea. I don't talk to Richard. I have no communication at all with Richard, so I don't know. So she's like, yeah, he was driving. I can't exactly remember what highway this was, but this highway kind of connected to maybe Queens, I think. I don't remember, y'all. Okay, that part is a blur. But she says to me in the text that he got into his bad car accident. Okay, he's driving. He felt dizzy and he crashed into a wall and the car went in flames and he couldn't get out of the car. So I'm like, okay, so was you able to speak to him? Like, I was trying to ask that question without asking it. So she's like, yeah, like he's fine, he's okay. He's like sick really bad. He was in the car breathing up the smoke. So I'm like, that's crazy. Now, all y'all New Yorkers, okay, the real New Yorkers, y'all know the damn that's crazy. Okay, y'all know this. It's a three limit with the damn that's crazy. When the damn that's crazy basically is, I really don't give a okay. I don't care about what you're telling me. I don't care. So I hit it with the damn that's crazy. She just put shake in my head. Okay, so she's from New York. She knows what's going on. So she's like, well, when was the last time you saw him or you spoke to him? And I'm like, a few days ago, before I went out of town. I literally just got back home today. She's like, oh, okay. So you wasn't even in town. So I'm like, no. She's like, oh. Oh, what? So she's like, well, yeah, I just wanted to tell you that. I'm like, all right. So y'all, closes out the message. I flies to the group chat. I'm talking about flies so fast, I almost dropped the phone. So I goes in the group chat. I'm like, y'all, caps, y'all, with mad L's. Everybody comes to the group chat. Tika was the first one. What's up? What's up? Maribel, what's going on? What? Tika, huh? What happened? So I'm like, y'all, guess who was in a motherfucking car accident and damn near 86th? Maribel says, that motherfucker Richard. I said, yes. That's what she wrote in the text. So Maribel just calls. Maribel calls me, okay? She just hops out of the group chat, calls my phone. So she's like, how do you know this? Like, what's going on? That's the first thing she said. I'm like, well, the cousin sent me a message. Remember, when I went to Atlantic City with Tika and Tangi, she had sent me a message, but I never responded to it. So today she sends another message. She's like, it's urgent, like really, really need to speak with me. So she's telling me how this man said he felt dizzy, he ran into a wall, and his car went up in flames, and now he's sick with smoke inhalation. If I'm saying it right, inhalation, whatever, okay? The smoke was all up in his motherfucking lungs, and he was sick. So Maribel is like, what? Well, that's karma. That's a karma for what he's doing. That's one of the karmas. So I'm like, I think so. And the reason that this cousin hit me up to tell me this is because it was meant for me to know and see it. So while I'm talking to her, I get a beep, like a beeping sound comes in. I pull the phone away, and it's this cousin, Layla. She's calling me from the Facebook phone. So I'm like, yo, the cousin, why is the cousin calling me from Facebook phone? Maribel is like, damn, I wish there was a way that you could like do a three-way so I can hear. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna see what she want and then I'm gonna call you back. Maribel's like, all right, cool. So I'm like, hello. Hey, how you doing? I'm like, hey. She's like, yeah, I don't mean to keep bothering you, but I'm here at the hospital. I'm here with Richard. Like, he wanted to talk to you. So I'm like, talk to me about what? She's like, well, I mean, he was just in a car accident. Like, I don't understand. So I'm like, the car accident has nothing to do with me. Me and Richard are broken up. We're not together anymore. I don't know if did he tell y'all that? Like, because it's like y'all not getting it. It's not clicking to y'all that we are broken up. So I don't have to speak to him regarding anything. You didn't even really have to call and tell me this. So she's like, here, cousin, you want to take the phone because like, she's just really fucking rude right now. So he takes the phone. He's like,
Hello.
He's trying, and y'all, like, Richard is really a drama queen, drama king. He's trying to act, and I'm not saying that he didn't have the smoke issue, but he was really, really putting on. Okay, he was putting on. He's like, hello. I'm like, yeah. Yeah, man, like, I know you heard. I'm like, yes, I heard. You good? Like, I really didn't give a fuck, but I was just, he's like, yeah, I don't know, like, I just feel like it's some bad juju. Really? It's some bad juju. Okay, so he's like, I almost didn't make it, King. Like, I just want to tell you that I love you. I'm like, well, that's fucked up. You should be glad you made it. He's like, so you don't love me? Like, I can't even get I love you back. And I'm like, listen, I'm not about to sit here and do this with you. I'm not, okay? Like, y'all, like, y'all know how Virgos are, okay? Like, once I stop giving a fuck, that's it. That's it, buddy. The I give a fuck sensor has been turned off. So I'm just like, I'm sorry this happened to you. So y'all, his whole energy, the persona just changes really quick. He's like, I'm starting to feel like this is you, like, cause I know you know how to do this. You've seen a lot of shit. You've seen me and my aunt doing a lot of shit. So I know you know how to do shit. So I'm like, excuse me? I know you think I did this? Like, what did I do to your car? Like, I wasn't even here in the city. I'm somewhere else. Nah, cause like, it's like you don't give up. Like, you just drive. Like, it don't make no sense. I'm telling you, like, I was almost unalived, and like, you just acting like you don't give up. I don't. Like, you know what? You can. And I'm like, you could never do that again. That's why it's blowing your mind because you can't do that anymore. So I understand. Like, I heard the car accident was really bad. You ran into a wall and the car is totaled, like it was crushed. He's like, yeah, you evil. I'm evil? All right. Once again, I'm sorry this happened to you. I hope you get better with time. Whatever's wrong with you, I hope you get better. So I hung up, y'all. Maybe 2 or 3 weeks. I'm gonna just say that time frame, 2 or 3 weeks, because it was a gap. It's a long gap. I'm just living my best motherfucking life, okay? I'm going to work. I'm going to school, college, doing my classes and things like that. I happen to be downtown Brooklyn. I'm downtown Brooklyn, and I'm at this Foot Locker. I'm looking for some white ups, some white Air Force. Okay, I get the sneakers. I come out of the store. I'm walking, and I look across the street, and I see Richard. I see Richard. Richard is standing in front of Dr. J's. Y'all remember that store, Dr. J's. Okay. Richard is standing in front of Dr. J's. He's smoking a cigarette. He's looking at me. Like, he's looking at me. So I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me right now? So I start walking, okay? I'm power walking down the block because I'm like, I'm not dealing with this. Like, this is just, there's no way you can pop up to where I am and just how, okay? So I started, y'all, this leads into the stalker video. I had a stalker for 8 years, okay? Because Richard became a stalker. The work that he was doing was starting to make him lose his mind, okay? Every time I turn around, I was seeing Richard somewhere where I was, okay? Like, and it came from him standing up to that damn window. He would be standing at my window listening to every conversation that I was having on the phone, y'all, or at my door. So I'm just like, I'm telling my friends, I'm like, yo, like every time I go somewhere, this motherfucker is there. Like, I'm not understanding. This is before I realized he was outside my window. I'm just like, this is just not making sense to me. Like, why the fuck is this motherfucker at my door so much? Like, I don't get it. So, y'all, I goes to pick up my check from work one day, okay? And coming back from picking up my check, I'm coming up Utica. I'm walking up Utica Avenue. There's a check cashing place that sits right on Utica and don't remember the street. But there's a check cashing place that's sitting right there, okay? So I goes to the check cashing place. I goes in there and cashes my check. I'm coming out of this check cashing place, and this is just wild, y'all. I'm coming out of this check cashing place. I comes through one door, goes through the next door, and as I'm turning this corner, cutting the corner, I runs into Richard. When I run into him, I look, and he's looking at me, and I look down at his hand, and what do I see? The fucking blue bag again. And then the block he was coming up, my house is down the block. So I'm just like, I looked at him, he looks at me, I move to the side, and I start walking. So I turn around, I didn't see him, like he didn't follow me. I'm just like, this is wild. This is wild. Like, so this time I called my mother. I'm like, Ma. My mother's like, what's up, Kane? I'm like, tell me why I'm coming out of check cashing place and I run into Richard. Richard is like coming up this block. That like the block that leads to my house. So my mother is like, you think he was coming from your house? I'm like, yeah. And he had that same blue bag. So my mother is like, what blue bag? And I forgot I never mentioned the blue bag to my mother. So I'm like, it's a blue bag that comes from this Botanica place or whatever. This is how I know that Richard is doing work. So she's like, so you think he was back at your door again? I'm like, I don't know, but I'm heading to my house now. So she's like, all right, well, call me when you get in the house. I'm like, all right. So I'm walking, y'all, power walking down Utica to get to this building. So when I hit the corner, I'm walking down, okay, and these blocks are so fucking long. When I get to my building, I see D again. So D was like,
Neighbor.
So I'm like, what's up? She's like,
I was just getting ready to call you.
I said, I know, I just seen him up there when I was coming out of the check cashing place. She's like,
yeah, I don't know, like he was trying to do something, and my brother told him to get the fuck away from the door, like to don't come near the door. And he walked out. Like, he started talking and he walked out.
And he had that same blue bag. She's
like, yep, he had the bag.
So I said, yeah, I seen him. She's
like, yeah, like, you might have to get a restraining order because this is not making no sense. Like, why does he keep coming back here doing this?
So I'm just like, you just didn't learn, buddy. Like, you literally just came out of a bad car accident, okay? Bad car accident and was almost 86 the fuck up out of here. And you right back doing the same thing. Y'all, I dealt with the stalking of Richard for 8 years. 8. Richard would make fake pages of my friends, steal their pictures, and would be talking to me. And this would go on for weeks and weeks before I would realize this is not my friend. He would be asking me questions like, so what's your address? Like, where do you live at in Atlanta? You know, where do you work at? All kinds of weird stuff. So how I figured this out, I had been talking to a homeboy of mine, and I'm thinking the whole time this is my homeboy until one day I happened to see on Facebook that he had passed away earlier in the year. So it was like, and I had no idea till I went to the family member's page. So I'm like, wait a minute. He passed away. When? So I hit his, his sister up. I'm like, your brother passed away? She's like, yeah. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, so it started, I started getting goosebumps, y'all, because I'm like, how the fuck and who the fuck? So I'm sitting there, I'm going through the messages, and I'm just like, this can't be, like, this can't be, this can't be, because he's gone, he's not alive. So I just sends a message, hey, just to see, sends a message, hey. The person opens it up instantly and was like, hey, what's up? So I just thought of something. Okay, I'm like, I sent a message and I asked something that had to do with when we were going to college. And I'm just like, where did we go for spring break? 4 years ago when we were in college. And the person was like, huh? I said, where did we go for spring break? The person never responded, y'all. Never responded, okay? And this went on and went on and on for years and years and years. Richard was stealing people's pictures and making pages and just trying to get my location to where I was. What's your address? Where you work? He was even sending messages to my friends and family doing the same thing, okay? He would make pages of me and we'll be talking to different people and trying to get information out of them. So I'm just like, yo, when does this stop? When does it stop? Y'all, when I moved to Atlanta, I met somebody, like this really high spiritual person. And I would do prayers and prayers with this lady day in and day out. Okay, day in and day out to like cast the Richard away from me. Okay, and it was working. Okay, so let me give you the rundown, the karma of Richard. Richard ended up getting evicted from where he was living. Richard ended up living in a store. He was living inside of a store, and he tried to come at me on Facebook one day from one of these fake pages, and I'm just like, he just hit rock bottom. He hit rock bottom. He lost everything. Somebody pum his car, the new car he got, okay, while he was in it. It was just like all kinds of bad things was happening to him, and his life was just spiraling. And the Most High was letting me see it, front row seat. So I'm just, why are you bothering me, buddy? Like, your life is out of control right now. You don't have time to be on social media bothering me. So I admit, I was teasing I was like, that's why you living in a fucking store. You living in a store, in the back of a store. He just kept saying,
well, rent, rent is high. That's the reason why I'm living in the store. If you couldn't afford rent, you would live in the store too.
no, the fuck I would not, buddy. Okay? No, I wouldn't. So that was a downfall of Richard after playing those dangerous games. Okay? And he looks horrible right now. Like, I seen a picture of him on Facebook because I told you I'm nosy. He looks bad. He looks horrible. Horrible. So let's take it to Atlanta. When I started to date Josh. Now, I did the story time about the in-laws from hell, okay? This is a part 2 started into, let me just say part 3. Okay? I was dating Josh for a couple of years, okay? I want to say maybe, not even a couple. Like, what's a couple? What does a couple mean? 2 or 3 years. We're 2 or 3 years into this relationship, and we're living in the A, okay? This story time is going to start in the A. Is this weird that Richard is still involved in this motherfucking So, I ends up helping Josh's mom move to the A. I don't know why I did that, y'all, because that was the gates of hell being opened. That was the gateway of hell. I opened the gates of hell in my house. This lady was doing everything in her willpower to break me and her son up. Mother-in-law number 2, because I went through this at a younger age. This lady, she goes to a Botanica in Brownsville on Rockaway, okay, Rockaway and Belmont. There's like this little Botanica that's sat just back up on the street. Okay, I'm just giving you a backstory before I get into the story. I got 48 minutes. Okay, so this definitely will be another part behind this. Wednesday, I goes to this Botanica because I needed candles for some type of decorative thing that I was doing. I goes into the store, y'all, and this is why me and Josh was in a relationship. I goes to the store, and the lady's staring at me. She's just staring. So I'm like, excuse me, where's the black candles? She's like,
over there.
But she didn't take her eyes off of me. So when I come back to the register with the candles, y'all, the lady says,
I know you.
I'm like, you know me from where? What, walking past your store every day? Because I did walk past her store every other day. She's like,
no. Somebody came in here and brought your picture to me.
My picture. She's like,
yeah, it was like a printout. They printed it out from the computer and they bring it.
So she goes to the back and she comes back and she's got this picture. And I'm like, she hands it to me. She says,
here, they asked me to do something and I didn't do it. But I kept the picture. I didn't give it back to them. I told them to get out of my store.
So I'm like, well, who was the person? She was like,
it was an old lady. That's all I'm going to say.
And then she tells me the total of the candles. And I'm just standing there like, an old lady. She's like,
that's all I'm going to say.
And then she says the total of the candles again. So I pay for the candles. And I'm like, so how can I find out who the lady was? She's like,
just watch your circle.
And I leave. So that's the backstory. Now let's get back to Atlanta. So I let Josh's mom move into my house. This was the worst motherfucking mistake that I can make in my life, okay? I let the lady move into my house until she found her somewhere to live. But I feel like it was more to that, because once she found somewhere to live, she still was in my house and would not leave my house to go to the house that she found. So before she finds this place to live, y'all, this lady is in my house. She's just doing a little bit of everything, okay? She's rearranging my house, changing my furniture around. She's complaining about how I cook, how I dress, complaining about everything. So one night, and this became every single night, y'all, this lady is waking up out of her sleep screaming. Like, I'm just like, yo, this is 7 days in a row, okay? It was just going on for the whole entire month. I wakes up, I said, you know what? I looked at Josh, I said, listen, your mother's got to go. This, I can't deal with this. The waking up with the screaming and I can't do it. Josh gets up and he goes to the front room because the way this apartment was, there was a back room and then there was a front room. The other room was in the front. That was the guest room. So Josh goes up there and you can just hear him.
What the fuck is going on up here? Like, why do you keep waking up screaming? I'm not understanding.
So she's like,
I don't know. I keep having nightmares. I keep having nightmares about water bugs. I keep having nightmares about snakes. Nightmares about this.
So I'm just like, water bugs and snakes. Like, I didn't think anything of it, y'all. I'm just like, I thought the lady was evil with or without voodoo on. So, Josh come back in the room. Josh like,
I don't know what the fuck is wrong with her. Like, she gonna fuck around and I'm gonna take her ass to her fucking house.
So I'm just like, yeah, like this is becoming annoying. This is every day, y'all. Every single motherfucking day, this lady is waking up out of her sleep screaming. So during the daytime, she's all right. She's okay. She's staring at me, just watching everything that I'm doing. So I used to have a bowl of water at my door, and I would pour salt at the threshold on my door. A few of the spiritual things that I learned in New York, I kept those rituals and those habits. She says to me one day,
"What's that bowl of water for at the door?"
So I'm like, this is a spiritual thing. I don't got time to explain it. This is exactly what I said to her. So she's like,
"Oh, I was just asking. It's like I noticed the cat doesn't bother it either."
So I'm like, yeah, because she knows, like, she's used to it. So I specifically said to her not to bother the bowl, y'all. One day I come home, the bowl is empty. It's no water in the bowl. I see the bowl is empty. I go straight to the living room and I'm just like, why is that glass bowl that was at the door empty? She's
like, "Oh, I decided to mop and the bowl kind of tilted over."
And all the water came out. She's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. So y'all, I'm like, I see what's going on here. This lady she keeps doing to piss me the off, okay? I literally told you not to mess with the bowl of water, and you still went and bothered the bowl of water. So here it is nightfall, okay? I goes into my room because I couldn't stand the lady. I didn't want to sit and watch TV with her, nothing. I goes into my room. I closes the door. I hear her screaming. Now, mind you, she was in the living room watching TV. I hear her screaming. Maybe 10 minutes of me being into my room, I hear this. So I jump off the bed. Like, I run off the bed. I run to the living room. I'm like, what? She's like,
I thought I just seen somebody standing by the fireplace. Like, they was just standing there.
So I'm like, somebody standing by the fireplace. She's like, yeah. Like, look around. Go around the wall. Because on the side of the fireplace, I had like this space. It was like this big space. Just an empty space. I don't know. I could have put a table there or something, but I just left it empty. So I go around the fireplace, the wall of the fireplace. I look, it's nothing over there. So I'm just like, well, why am I looking over here again? She's like,
"'Cause that's where the person ran."
So I'm just like, are you taking anything? Like are you taking anything? She's like,
Like, "What are you talking about?"
I'm like, are you taking any medicines or anything like that?
Just my blood pressure and heart medicine.
I'm like, nothing else. She's like, no. I'm like, all right. I goes back into the room. And I send Josh a text and I told him, your mother has to go. Point blank motherfucking period. She got to get out of my house, okay? Because I'm not doing this. This lady's talking about she's seeing somebody standing at the fireplace and the person ran around the wall, ran around to the corner, and I don't see nothing over there. So he's like, I'm literally at the light. I'll be there in 5 minutes or less. I'm like, all right. As soon as he comes in, y'all, he starts yelling.
Who the fuck you seeing by the fireplace?
She's like,
it was somebody standing.
It was a man.
She's like,
I don't know. Like I just seen it there.
you seen someone, but you don't know if it was a man or a woman.
She's like, yeah, I don't know. Like it just happened so fast. Like it just was so fast.
So Josh was like, you really asking for it?
You really asking for it? Cause I'm getting sick of this shit.
He comes into the room and he's like,
she getting on my motherfucking nerves.
So I'm like, yo, it's like I have to be here with this. While you out, I'm here with this. So Josh goes and cooks. And Josh is a very good cook, by the way. I don't know if I ever mentioned that to y'all. He goes and he cooks. He makes dinner for us. And this lady, she's eating. And then she starts tweaking. She jumps up from the table. Like she just jumps up. Josh is like,
what's wrong with you?
She's like, I thought I seen something in my plate. Like I thought something was in my plate. So I'm like, something was in your plate, like I'm lost. She like,
I don't know. Like I thought I seen something in my plate.
So Josh is like,
what, yo? Like you want to go home? You want to go to home?
She's like, no. Like you know what? I'm just put the food in the microwave bowl and I'm gonna just go in the room. Just go in the room.
I'm like, okay, because I'm lost. Okay, I'm really fucking lost. Couple of days go by. Okay, fast forward. Couple of days go by and Josh's sister, she calls. She's like, Kane. So I'm like, what's going on, girl? She's like,
my mother's at your house?
I'm like, yeah. She's outside of the park right now. She's like, you need to get that bitch out your house. Because she's only down there. She's trying to ruin you and ruin my brother. She's trying to ruin your lives. Like, you need to get her out your house. Get her out your house. Like, I'm telling you, you're going to regret it. You're going to regret it if you don't. So I'm just like, she's into that She's into that the burning of the candles. Like, she did it to me. Why you think my life is the way it is now? Like, get her the fuck out your house. Get her out your house. And she hangs up. So I'm sitting there at this island and I'm like, what the fuck just happened? I send Josh a text. Your sister just called going crazy. Willy Bobo on the phone. She said to get your mother out of the house because your mother's trying to ruin my life and ruin your life. And she's talking about your mom does candle work. So Josh sends a text back and says, I've heard about the candle work before. Here is where we get to a part 3, y'all. Y'all probably gonna curse me the fuck out in the comments. Y'all gonna be like, listen, bitch. Listen, bitch. Why the you ain't just finished the video? Well, because it's about, what is it? It's about an hour. Y'all gotta wait for part 3. Part 3 is crazy. Part 3 is crazy. And I have pictures and messages to prove everything. And y'all know I'm the receipt queen. Y'all know I got a file cabinet with receipts. Stay tuned for part 3, okay? And if you like this story time, give this video a thumbs up and leave some comments, okay? Let's talk about it. Which I think part 3 is about. So, if you didn't like this story time, give this video a thumbs up and be blessed, okay? Get up on out of here. Have a nice night, day, afternoon, whenever you clicked on this video. But that's the end of the story time, okay? So wherever you at in this crazy ass, spooky ass world, look at the person next to you. Whether they be on your left, whether they be on your right, or they in front of you. And you say to them, yo, have you heard about Kane? They're going to be like, who's Kane? You're going to be like, you don't know Kane? You don't know Big Kane? Big Kane. The one. They're going to be like, nah. You're going to be like, well, guess what? Don't forget to tell a friend, to tell another motherfucking friend, to tell another motherfucking friend that the Kane is on the fucking tube. Peace, y'all.
I got so many flows, man. It's like picking out clothes. Hey. I got so many flows. I don't know how to be the same. So many flows. I can kill your beat any type of way. So many flows.